Hello, hello, hello. Is this working? Okay. So, day 130. I I'm figuring out how to do this on the road. Um, we're in Coldwater right now, and Luther's sleeping, and Lorelai's watching a movie, and my wife's in surgery, and so I thought I had like 5 minutes here to get this down. I'm sick of missing 2 days in a row, so um, didn't want to do that. So I've been pretty good. I got my workouts done today. Um, I've been doing my other tasks and I'll get this done. And that's just about eating right for us today. I mean, I got to post on Twitter, but that's becoming easier. I'm starting to get into a good habit of posting the thing that I find interesting every day. And I think that's enough for what I want to do. So, the thing that I'm finding interesting today, of all things, is I've been thinking about habits a lot. I started a new book called The One Thing. Um, by Gary Keller, and that's been pretty informative and opening my eyes. And um, I think I'm realizing that it's more powerful to think of good and bad habits in terms of, do I want to pass this on to my children? And I think that's helping me cut through the crap of like, is it worth it? Do I have time for this? Like, what do I want? How hard will it be? I think when I break it down into terms of, do I want my kids to have this habit too? Because it's most likely going to rub off on them. That's when things get kind of, I guess that's when they get simpler. Um, like Jeff Bezos has a rule that you should never, regret something on your deathbed. And you should make life decisions as if you were an 80-year-old man, like, and what you would have done differently, what least amount of regrets. Steve Jobs has a good quote about, you should live every day like it's your last day on earth. And if you find yourself saying, more often than not, was it a good day or not? The answer is no. Then, do something fun that day and break away from the crap that day. So I think similar, like, I think I've always heard these before with regrets. And I think they've just been hard for me to comprehend because I don't really regret a lot. I mean, I feel pretty good. Once my kids were born, my regrets kind of went out the window. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff I wish I did differently to like not, hurt people or be nicer or be more helpful or, just be a better partner or friend. But, you know, if if my kids wouldn't be here today and I made that righted that wrong, it kind of you lose track of that. It's not as important. But but to say so, like, that's why those regret arguments by Bezos and Jobs were always like not making sense to me. But when I think of it in terms of like, do I want my kids to have this habit, this good or bad habit, like, it really breaks through of like what is important, and it's not what's easy, and it's not really what's hard. It's like most of the things I'm not doing are very hard, and that's like the whole point. That's why I don't do them. It's because they're very hard, and I think I really need to think of it in terms of, you know, is my kid gonna have the same problem or the same thing that they're gonna work through? Like my dad like picks his fingernails, so I pick my fingernails. My mom is very like picks at her face and picks at her scabs and stuff, and me and my sister both do that. And I think those are the small ones, but the big ones are like, do I want my kids to grow up in an environment in which their father's overweight or not taking care of himself? Or, do I wish, like, do I want them to grow up in an environment where one of their parents or both their parents know how to play instruments or have good self confidence or have good handwriting? Like, I think there's a lot of things that don't come easy to me that I'm kind of reflecting on, like how I'm allowing myself to pass that on. What I want to be passing on. Let's make it more um, literal. Let's assume that everything I do is going to be passed on, rather than the opposite. You know, and because my kids are already like copying me in ways I never really thought about, and including my daughter wanting to like do work with me and like plays on the computer and just like slaps keys just because she sees me doing that. And it's so cute. But, it's like, I mean, it's always balance. Everything's always balance. But it's like, how do I think about this purposefully, actively, not passively? Because I feel like the way you fall into bad habits and the way, part of the reason people are overweight and a lot of different things, bad habits they fall into, is they just kind of don't think of their time or their parenting actively, I think. And I'm sure it's not because I'm sure it's because they live overwhelming lives and it's not on purpose. But, I'm just trying to be honest about what I think will help fix it, on top of probably trying to get a less overwhelming life. But, I think I'm just reflecting on that last couple days. I mean, I've been wanting to play guitar since I was like 10, and now that Lorelai's kind of getting interested in it, it's making me feel bad that I never made a habit about that. And maybe if I play for 5 minutes on very purposeful training and teaching myself every day for a year or two, by the time she's like 5, 6, 7, 8, I would actually be in a position where I could actually help her, and it would also close my regret of never doing that. So, I'm trying to really pinpoint good habits to start that reduce my regrets and improve my children's lives, and then therefore double reduce my regrets of what I'm passing on to them. It's like righting a wrong in my own life by trying to make it really positive in their life, and then hopefully helping them in that way if they're, looking at that thing, that instrument or whatever, as a way to enjoy their life more, But, it's hard. I mean, I don't know if I'm ready to sign up for that yet, but I have 5 already, and that's kind of a lot. I don't want to keep adding things, but, it's always good to be reevaluating. I mean, one thing I don't want to pass on to them is I want them to speak confidently and speak distinctively, and I think I'm still trying to find my own voice and all that, but I really hope that they don't have to do that. It's just something that's never come easy to me, and it's like weird because I think I'll connect with them more if it doesn't come easy to them, but also I don't want you don't want your kid to struggle with something unnecessarily. So, but we'll see. It's I'm just trying to figure this out along the way, like everyone else too. So I acknowledge that, but it's a interesting proposal to think about more things that I would fix about my own life, because I don't want to pass them on more than just think about me. And when you start getting mimicked by your kids, you start to realize the things you're passing on, and it becomes quite literal of what, passively or actively, you're still guiding them. They're still copying you, even if it's not something you want them to copy you at. It's gonna happen. So you might as well, don't cause yourself a bunch of anxiety about it. But it's better to think about those things ahead of time, and reflect each day about what you probably taught them today, and why. I try really hard to. I don't know the best way to teach my kid grit and perseverance, but the only thing I've been thinking that isn't mean and make them feel bad is whenever they get stuck, I just go, what do we do when we get stuck? We try again. And I feel like try again is the most basic thing you can teach a kid. Don't say sad, we're sad, we're mad, we need help. I mean, sometimes we need help, sometimes we're frustrated, but like, I think the thing that is always true is try again, and I think that is, if they can just go to that words when they get stuck, I think that's all I can really do, because there's so many situations that you can't have a blanket statement for, but I think that's the easiest one to have. So, well, glad I got some time to reflect here and get that thought off my brain, because it's been kind of working around in there. It's something I think is a good idea. I don't see a bad part of it. maybe putting too much pressure on your kids to be perfect, I guess. But I'm just, I guess I'm just trying to guide them to the best of my abilities and be the best person to mimic that they can possibly have in their life. If they're going to mimic me anyways, I might as well purposefully be a good mimic. So, all right, well, day 130, I got my workouts done. I just got to not eat like crap again today and read some more books and keep trying to sneak away for a minute here. So, thanks. See ya.